Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It is live, and you guys already see. Oh, I saw some people. Somebody in the chat guessed your name, by the way. Welcome to the Thursday show, live 9 p.m. Eastern, or for those of you on the great West Coast out in the Pacific, it is 6 o'clock, as I've been told by my special guest, Megan. Say hi, Megan.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
She's back. I got this awesome message from Megan, literally out of nowhere, and I feel bad because we hadn't talked for a while, probably since Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, it's been a while.
She was angry that we didn't delay the entire eBay Open for her to have a child and then show up. That's what her issue was. But anyways, yeah, we hadn't really talked at all since, probably pre-Vegas or at Vegas. And so she wanted to be on the show, and I said, you know what, come along, and I have a great topic, and I think you'll be good for this, especially since she has more inventory on eBay than almost anybody I know, at least in this chat. I know some people with bulk stores, but not like we do it. So how many items are you up to right now?
So, Casey, I just hit 4,000 listings 2 days ago.
Woo! I had a clue. I didn't know for sure, but I know the last update I saw was 3,879. And I was thinking you were going to be at 4,000 this weekend. I had a feeling. And when you messaged me, I thought you might want to come on and show off a little bit to people. So 4,000 active pieces of mainly women's clothing, mainly subgenre pants and bottoms. What do you got? Like 3,000 of those? 35?
Yeah, and it's mostly jeans and pants. But now I have branched out into some women's tops. So I have about 800 shirts listed right now as well.
Ooh, she's going the way of the dark side. Yep. So if you guys ever want a store to check out, don't go window shop. Go buy something from her if you go. But it's shop_the_sandcastle. Most of you already know that, though. And she has a ton of stuff. So any of you guys watching, probably nothing for you. But women, check it out. Hey, what's up, Wade? Wade in the house. And, of course, Star, who I just got off a call with literally seconds before we came live, and Adam. So a lot of familiar faces. Jason Deason here. And next year, you're going to hang out with me and Jason and Jesse, who hung out and partied it up in Vegas. We'll have Megan out, I promise. And everybody else.
I'll come next time. No biggie.
Yes. We're doing a Halloween haunted tour in St. Augustine, Florida. Come on out.
Yeah, I'll just leave the babies here with my husband, and I'll fly across the country.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's Jay, right? Jay?
Jay? Who's that?
Your other half? John. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait.
I was thinking Jay. John. I knew. I had it in my head. John, yeah. John will be happy to take care of the kitties. He'll be good, right?
Yeah.
No? Alone?
No. He'll leave them in the pack and play, and he'll play video games.
Nice. See, that works, man. As long as they can't escape, it's all good. Anyways, what's up to everyone else who just said hi? I just noticed a lot of people came in the chat. So thank you guys all for being here. We're going to talk about fourth quarter. I put it in the title. We might as well discuss it. Talking about sourcing, and me and Megan just had a very short question. Literally, it was like last minute that we jumped on here about Jay is her other boyfriend.
No, Diego's my other boyfriend.
Oh, Diego, yeah. I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's good. And we were just talking in short before the video started about good ways to source for fourth quarter. And I have something I wanted to bring up, but I wanted you to tell everyone, you had just mentioned two things. One, a really important thing tomorrow. Let's start with that. What is tomorrow?
So for everyone who doesn't know, tomorrow is National Thrift Store Day. So a ton of thrift stores are doing big sales. I just looked up Goodwill, and my local Goodwill here in the Seattle area in Tacoma, they're doing like a special promotional coupon for everything in the store. So that's number one. So look at your local stores and see if there's something else that you can find just tomorrow with their big sale. And then number two, what was number two?
Oh, so number two was, Walmart's, yes.
So I was at Walmart yesterday with a really quick trip, and outside they had all of these racks of their leftover summer items, which were all $1. And this wasn't just like one rack, it was like 10 different racks. And then when I went inside, they had more racks throughout, like all of the clothing department and household goods, everything $1.
Like the yellow marked clearance. So through like men's, women's, kids, everything?
Yeah. So I didn't have time. I was getting Tylenol for my son who has a fever. I wanted to stop, but I didn't. But everyone should go to their local Walmart and see if they have any.
That's such a good. I have not a lot of people know this, but and this is what's crazy. Whenever you hear me yell and complain about how many people live in my area, we have 5 Walmarts in 3 miles.
That's a lot.
Let that sink in. 5 Walmarts in 3 miles. If you don't believe me, Google search Walmart, Valrico, Florida. Valrico, Valrico, Florida. Walmart. Look it up. You'll see them. 5. There's one right next to me. Like I can almost walk to it. I shouldn't tell you guys that much information, but 5 Walmarts. You guys know what I'll be doing tomorrow. Everyone is loving on my facial hair that I haven't shaved since Vegas. What's up with that?
You need to clean that up a little bit.
Yeah, you know what's been going on? So typically, like when I was in Vegas, I would have been like, I was cleaned up and then gone for a whole week, come back and take a week to recover. And you don't think about all this. And then I got to go get my haircut too. And then now that the computer anybody who didn't see, my computer blew up 2 days ago and I've been on a 2-day manhunt for a laptop, finally set up with the new laptop. It's phenomenal. It is like blazing fast. I left my good camera in my car that's in the shop. My week has been that way. Just don't ask. But that's why we're doing this fancy stuff. But yeah,
we're doing this together.
Yeah, we're doing this together. So I'm using the internal camera on the MacBook, but because this is a December 2017 MacBook, it's actually really good. I like the quality on the internal camera. So the fact that I left my other one in the trunk is not all bad. So
for $2,000, you got last year's laptop?
Yeah, because this year's is $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I got the 2017. I'm not even a big fan of the 2018s have the little sliding touch bar thing on the Mac. And my friend Chris bought it. They start at like $27.99 or $28.99. I'm not a fan of it. I don't even like the touch bar. So to save, that's why I said I got a really good deal at Best Buy. I got this one for $18.99 plus tax, of course, came to like right at $2,000. But for a 7-month-old laptop, it's a brand new laptop. It's just it came out 7 months ago. It was still brand new in the box.
But
yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a good deal. Like $1,000 less, I don't get the newest touch bar thing. I don't even like it. I don't care. It's the exact same specs. This is an i7 16 gig 500 hard drive. 16 gig RAM is what I was mainly interested in, because when you start running these live YouTube shows, and a lot of you guys have been asking me about YouTube, by the way, starting your own channel, but if you run this kind of stuff, it slows your computer down to nobody's business. Like, just you try to do a video editor or music or iTunes, forget it. If you don't have 16 gigs of RAM, it's over. My other one was 8 gig. And I think that probably led to the computer's eventual downfall. But that computer was 5.5 years old. So I feel pretty good that I got 5.5 years out of it.
Yeah, and that's a tax write-off for you too. So it's not like...
Absolutely. Do not shave the beard. I've got 50-50. Do not shave and do shave.
Let me be the tiebreaker. You need to shave it.
I do. Yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of it, but I'll go get the haircut this weekend, and I'll look like a professional next week. I promise. I'll try my best. So sourcing, I need to stay on task. I've been really bad about this. Sourcing for fourth quarter. You're at 4,000 listings. Most people are not. They're at 500. They're at 1,000. Right now is good. Like, it seems like all the deals are coming out, and you just pointed that out, like to go crazy and buy stuff, right?
I'd hit up Walmart and just load up like 4 or 5 carts with $1 items, get everything that's like plus size. Star will like it. There's tons of Faded Glory and No Boundaries.
Those professional brands. Hey, Elizabeth, I just saw the super chat, $10 for Casey. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate that. $20, splitting it up. I will, is that new email you gave me, your PayPal as well? I'll send that over on PayPal.
No, I just can't get logged into YouTube on the other email, so I had to make a new one.
Good grief. All right, well, I'll work it out. I'll send her the 10. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. Also, I ordered something. Speaking of, I meant to talk to you, and I'll talk to you privately about this. I ordered something for Megan in Vegas. I told her like the day before we left that I was ordering something. It might show up or the week after. I just realized you never told me you got anything, and I never checked my bank, which I got charged for. You didn't get a box, did you?
No. What did you send me?
I didn't send it. I ordered it from somewhere, so it should have sent from where I ordered it. I now need to check on that because it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, unless you sent me some used jeans as a return. I haven't.
No, absolutely not. So please leave me a giant blinking message to check the tracking and the order. I don't know if it went through. I got billed for it 100%. 100%. So, and I told
something good. We've waited a while now.
Yeah, no, that was 3 weeks ago. And it was the week before Vegas that I told you. So it's been almost a month. I didn't order it until we were in Vegas. Because I messaged you before Vegas and said, you might get something while we're gone. And I had it in my cart, but I didn't actually pay for it till the day we got in Vegas. I paid for it on Monday, the 23rd. So it should have shipped the 24th or maybe the 25th, which would have been Tuesday, Wednesday. And it was heavy. It was definitely priority. It was no first class. So you should have had it before August 1st.
Do you have tracking? Otherwise, I'm going to open an item not received case.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up after I'm done with the live show and figure out what happened, because this has happened to me twice now in the last 2 months that I've ordered something and it just never showed up.
Yeah,
that's obnoxious. That's super obnoxious. So remind me to check on this. I'm annoyed at that now. So anyways, I'll get the refund and reorder it from somewhere else. It's fine. Anyway, so a bunch of keep the beards. I'll work on it, guys.
No, guys.
It's hot in Wisconsin, like Florida. It's not hot here. It's raining every day, in case you were wondering. Great job, Justin. You're kicking. Yeah, Justin's doing a great job too. Everyone, 18 items selling. Speaking of, somebody just asked, on your 4,000, how many a day are going out?
So right now I'm picking back up. I want to say maybe 14 or 15.
That's good.
I mean, it's not very good considering how many items I have. Last year around this time, I was sending out almost 20 a day, and I only had probably half as many items.
When you had 20, 2,200, 2,400, you were at 20 a day. I was literally counting it every day.
Yeah. But you know what? It's only August, and I feel like last year I didn't really pick up until like September, October, November, December.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like you should be higher now. Like, so 0.5% for you would be 20 a day.
Yeah, so I'm less than that.
Yeah, so you're at like 0.3, 0.4%. Yeah.
But I'm trying to scale up to where even like a really low percentage like that will still be at least 20 items or so.
Well, I think so we're a month out. So we're a month and a half from fourth quarter. I think you'll get to, with 4,000, I think you'll get to 30, 35 items a day. You'll have days. I hope so too, because for you, you're at like $23 a piece. That would be $600 days.
Yep.
$700 days. So you guys can do the math.
Paid off, and then I can save more money and buy another car because now I need a bigger one.
Oh, the life of a mom of two. We just had the car talk too.
And you know what? I'm never ever getting a minivan. For anyone who wants to know, that will never be.
No soccer mom?
No, never.
Okay, so this is going to lead me into my next question. Now that you have 2 munchkins, let's talk for the stay-at-home mom, since this is not me. 1, about going out doing your sourcing with 2 stragglers, and 2, have you thought about, for fourth quarter or any quarter for that matter, doing any kind of bulk purchasing?
Okay, so as far as the kids, I'm going to be honest and say that normally I can leave them at home with my husband now because my Goodwill is doing their 99-cent sales on Sundays and my husband's normally home. So typically I can leave them at home. I haven't had to go to the store with both of them yet. So I can only speak for when I had my oldest son and I would take him. And that was already hard. I'd have to like come home in between each store and take a break and change him and feed him. So if I had to take both of them, I think it would just be the same thing. Go to one store and then come home, feed and change, then go to my next store.
Ouch. That would cause such a headache.
I mean, it is, but I mean, you have to do something. The kids aren't going to sit in the cart for 3 different stores. They need to eat. They need to be changed. And especially a newborn, they're eating like every 2 hours. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you're going to have to adapt and either go to your car and take a break and feed and change them, or I like to just come home because I'm close enough.
So that Goodwill, the ones you go to are not far. They're a couple miles. No,
they're close to my house. And if Fred is watching, he knows exactly where they're at because he's going to my thrift stores now.
Fred, I don't see Fred in the chat. For anybody who's new and doesn't know who Megan is, she's a mom of 2. She has a newborn. We were just talking, 6 weeks old. Dylan is getting big. I just saw pictures of him yesterday or day before. And so she has to kind of juggle the whole thing with now, the newborn. And the other one, I believe, is going to be 3.
No, he's not even 2. He's
why do I think he's so
months.
I feel like he's older. I always feel like he's older.
No, they're really close in age. I was pregnant for basically 2 years straight.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. But yeah, so she has to juggle that whole being pregnant twice, 2 in a row with 4,000 listings. So this is going to go to my old thing about those of you that say you have such a problem getting inventory and getting it listed. I know some of you are in a bad area, but still, it can be done. 2 children, newborn, mom, the whole deal, 4,000 active listings. Even before you had a helper, you got to like 2,500 on your own. So
yes, 2,500, and I was putting up about 40 listings a day at that point by myself, start to finish.
Exclusive Elegance said no way on the minivan. Never happened. No soccer mom stuff. And Wade said he can't wait for me to have a couple kiddos. A couple?
You can load them in the back of your i8. See how much fun that is getting them in and out.
Yeah, the whole marketing video for the i8, at the end of it, it shows like this preppy douchebag rich dude loading his kid in the back of it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right?
No. The kid's like stuffing Cheerios in the seat.
Yeah. And he's trying to fold this sports car seat forward and shove the kid up against the engine that's in the back. Yeah, no.
No.
Adam said he wouldn't use the restrooms at the Goodwills with his kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the ones at my stores either. They're pretty dirty. And there's some weirdos that hang out in there occasionally.
There's weirdos. She does all this, guys, that are asking, all this on her own. So those of you that are moms or kids or whatever, it can be done. This sounds bad, and it's gonna make me look bad, but it's all about time management, one, but also not being lazy. It takes work. I mean, you probably work 12 hours a day, if I had to guess.
At least. I'm getting up at about 6 o'clock now, and I don't go to bed until like 10 at night. Yeah.
I mean, that's a relatively light compared to some people. I mean, you work a lot, but so for those of you that say you're working hard, but literally you're working like 4 hours a day, just do more, work harder, watch a couple Casey Neistat videos and get some motivation and work a little harder.
I think it really is all about the time management, though, because before I started planning my days out, I would get up at like 9 or 10. And then by the time I actually started doing anything, it would be 11 or 12. And then after that, I'd have lunch and then sit around on Facebook for a couple hours, do some listings, and oh, look, what do you know? It's dinner time, do dinner, and then watch some TV and then go to bed.
It's the time management is something I'm bad at now. And a lot of people, Connie just said, she'd like to see me source with 2 kids. I think that most people, when they end up having kids, things change, and you have to like, you have a child or 2 children, you have to change your schedule. You can't just make up your own times anymore. You got to do what they're doing. And so I sort of think that it would be a motivator to me to get my schedule better. Because like right now, I don't have kids, I don't have responsibilities. I literally could lay in bed all day from, go to bed at midnight and not get out of bed till 2 days later. And the only people that would notice would be you guys.
Okay, you're making me jealous. You need to stop talking.
Right. Yeah. Nobody would know. And so it's because I don't have to do anything. Obviously, I have to get up and make money and work. But in theory, I don't have to do anything. When you have a child, you can't just leave your child lay in the other room for like 3 days. You got to get up. You got to feed them. You got to change them. You got to bathe them. You got to take them out. So because I have to get up and do stuff, that's my motivator. And I do that to myself. Like this morning, my car had to go to the shop. So what did I do? I made an 8 a.m. appointment. And the shop's 30 minutes away, which means I had to leave here at 7:30, which means I had to get up at like 6:45 this morning.
Yeah, I've been purposely like scheduling my kids' appointments like really early in the morning as well, just so I have to get up. Because when you work for yourself, you're your own boss. So if you sleep in until noon, no one cares.
Nope.
Unless you have kids, like they'll probably be crying and screaming at you.
Yeah. The only time that people are going to care is when the bills come if you don't get up and do something. I mean,
So it's really all about that time management and scheduling when you're going to do things and actually getting up and doing it.
Yep. Wade just said he had to. Wade so you guys know Wade just, had his new baby too. And so Wade said he had to cut out the TV and TV shows. And that's what we've been doing. I've been turning off. I used to leave Netflix just running constantly, and I would sit down and just all of a sudden watch like 2 episodes or something. I've had to turn it off. I unplugged the PS4 for a while just so I couldn't turn it on.
Yeah, my husband likes to play video games, and on the weekend he will sit for like the entire weekend and just play video games. And it makes me so annoyed because I think of all that time where he could be out like mowing the grass or fixing the fence or washing the car or something useful.
Something useful. He's not listening to this right now?
No, he's not here. He's gone for a week.
That's right. You told me. So you can get away with this.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, everybody be quiet. Great to see you live. Hey, Rakin's in the house, and Jamie Pace just joined. So what's up to both
Jamie.
of you? What's up, Jamie?
Jamie's got 2 kids, so he understands.
Yeah, Jamie's got 2. His are a little older. Jackson's got to be like 5 or 6 or something. So Jamie's had a few more years of experience. But so this whole thing leads into like the sourcing side for me. And I just asked Megan about this right before the show too, and led up to it. What do you think about if somebody's in a position like you, they've got kids, they've got limited time, maybe they've got full-time jobs, about doing not just the Walmart purchasing that you mentioned and the big sales, but bulk purchasing? Has the thought, some people have asked me, has the thought come over for like you buying pallets?
So currently, because my Goodwills are so convenient to me and I can get stuff so cheap, no, I haven't thought about buying pallets. I don't really need to at this point. But I think they would be a really great idea for someone who doesn't have a lot of time, especially if you can get, 10 or 20 of the same item. You can make one listing and just put in that quantity and just wait for them to sell. With the items that I get, they're all unique. So every single item has to be photographed and listed individually, which takes more time.
Exactly. I think people that have, because you do it full time, I think the hardest people are the full-time people with full-time jobs that they have to be at that. They can't get out of that. And then a lot of them have kids after the job. So they're really strapped for time. And that is the person that I think is a prime for pallets. You have all day, even though you have the kids, you don't work a job. So
this is my job. So I can stay on list.
Yeah, this is you full-time all day, every day. So you have the ability to get individual unique items and do it. And that's what works for you. The pallets don't work for everyone, and maybe your business model doesn't work for them. So I want to talk to people about Amazon pallets. I've been getting a lot of questions about buying returns and shelf pulls. I'm going to do a video just as a heads up next week. I just ordered it, some pallets from Amazon return merchandise. So they should be in end of next week. So it might be the week after that we do that video. I'm going to unbox those Amazon videos or Amazon pallets.
How much do those cost?
It just depends on how much you want to buy and what type of merchandise. So we bought one that is a home goods. It might have like some small, I have the manifest. It's got some mixers. It's got some kitchen stuff. It had a set of knives that were really expensive from Bed Bath & Beyond that were sold on Amazon, and they were returned. They're open box, but I saw the pictures. So the knife set was like $200.
Oh, wow.
That whole pallet for the home goods shipped was like $600, I think.
So with the Amazon ones, do they actually ship it to your house?
They will if it isn't the big bulky ones. If it's the smaller electronics, home good, video game stuff, they'll deliver it to a driveway. But I had these delivered to my old office. Those of you that don't know, I used to rent an office from Dave. He has a huge building. He rented me part of the office. The only reason I don't have the office anymore is, one, it was an expense that I just didn't care about. And two, it was taking us like 45 minutes to an hour each way every day. We were wasting like 10, 12 hours a week driving. So because of how bad the traffic is. And Dave rented me the office with use of internet, electric, everything for a flat $1,000 a month. So yeah, I did get a deal, but I was still paying, and it was $1,000 a month. So it just made sense to cut the expense and cut the driving, which is why I brought everything in house. And so obviously Dave doesn't care if I have a pallet delivered to his building. I'm gonna do the unboxing at his building. He'll be there to help me anyways. But then once I have it all unwrapped and pulled apart, I can load it in the SUV and drive it here. So
we have a question. Liquidation Lounge, Megan, how long did it take you to get your listings up, and what's a typical listing day for you as far as number of listings?
Oh yeah, good question.
Well, it's varied the last week. Some days I've done 100 a day, and other days I've done 40 or 50. But that's because the photos and the measurements are already done, and I just have to create the listing and upload the photos. So they take about 2 or 3 minutes each. So a typical day, it could be 40. I could do 100 a day, depending on how much time I have.
That's solid. Most people tell me they can only get 20 up a day, and I always shake my head. Although I don't do it anymore, at my peak, I was listing 40 and 50 every single day by myself.
Yeah, it's definitely doable, even with the pictures and doing it all start to finish, because I was doing 40 a day by myself when I was doing the photos, the measurements, the whole thing.
Right. So you can expect that if you get a good system down, even with unique items, photos, everything, if you're not getting, and this is full time, of course, if you're not getting up 30 or 40 a day, you're doing something wrong. If you're part time and you're not getting up 20 or 25 a day, you're doing something wrong.
I think a lot of people, though, with the listing, they waste a lot of time trying to research every item. And the items that I'm listing are bread and butter. You know, they're jeans and pants of brands that I list every single day. So I already know my price point. I already know what keywords to use. I'm not having to go look up every single item and try to look up comps and see what's sold in the past. I already have a price point, and I'm just listing and then on to the next one.
So I think that comes into the time management as well. Not just time management, but having the setup and the place to list organized will allow you to save the time to hit those numbers. Like if you're all spread out all over the place and you're trying to run back and forth, you'll never, ever hit those numbers ever. So I'm
going to grab the baby real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead. I got a few questions. So Jason just asked about the pallets from Amazon. Are they manifested? Yes, they are manifested. Most websites will manifest. I'm going to do a whole video on where to buy some at. If you're interested, it's going to be next week. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and keep an eye on my videos. They will come out. I will not buy pallets that are not manifested ever. If I don't know what's coming, I'm not gonna buy a mystery pallet. Like that's silly. It's stupid, and you would never do that. You always want to buy manifested pallets. So we're gonna go over that. If I'm paying $600 or $700 for a pallet, don't forget there's shipping included. You might pay another couple $100. I would hope to double my money, at least maybe 2.5 times. If I'm spending $1,000, I'd love to sell it all for $2,500. So that's really the goal. Anything less than that, probably, you know, if I'm spending $1,000 and I'm only making $400 or $500, it's probably not worth it. So if you list 50 items a day, your items are too cheap. No, that's not necessarily. Why can't you list 50 expensive items? Her average sale price is like $23, $24, and she's making 50%. So 50% of $5,000 is $2,500.
Why do you know my numbers so well?
That's what I do. But no, somebody's saying that if you're selling $5,000, you're only making $4,500. That just means somebody's spending too much money on their inventory. How many items you list a day has nothing to do with your cost of goods. She pays $1 for a lot of items. Remember that. So on a $23 item, if she's even into it for $2, she's at 21 less 7, 10. She's at like $11 profit. So times 10 items is $110, $120. So
okay, I'm back.
Yeah, the amount of items that you list every day has zero bearing on your cost of good or your profit. So
yeah, you could be selling $2,000 MacBooks.
Right. Yeah, you certainly could. Yeah. So I have a friend that literally keeps no more than, if I had to look, I'm going to guess 150 or 200 items. His average sale price is $97. He keeps wanting to get $200. Well, he only sells like 5 items a day, but he's doing $500 a day.
That's incredible.
Yeah, on 5 items. I mean, he's selling electronics. He sells camera lenses. He sells cell phones. He sells tablets, you know, so his items are $100, $150. He's selling used and damaged ones a lot of time. He specializes in damaged electronics. It's insane. Like he'll find a lens that's like $1,000 camera lens, and on eBay or Amazon, it's worth like $700. used or 600, he'll find one damaged and give somebody like $50 or $100 and resell it for like 200. It's ridiculous.
Wow. I wish I knew something about electronics, but I don't know anything.
All you need to know is how to look up sold listings on eBay.
I mean, to like get things that are like broken and then fix them and flip them.
Oh no. See, he started with the whole repairing, but it started taking so much time. And even if you repair stuff and you get good at it, there's no guarantee that like you aren't going to sell it and then it's going to break again. You know, so he just sells it as is for parts, no return. His whole eBay account is no returns, as is for parts, period. No risk, no nothing. He lists exactly what's broken and he never has any issues. Like he's never, like maybe once this year, he's had somebody complain about something.
That's fantastic. I feel like a lot of people would be opening not as described cases saying, oh, this doesn't work.
No, he lists them. He lists them as broken. So like you take a perfect example, like, you know, like our phones or whatever. This is a $1,200 phone, brand new. On the used market, you can sell these for $800-900. If somebody busted this screen and LCD, it's probably still worth $400 or $500 because some repair guy or some DIY dude will buy it and fix it for himself or whatever. You could go offer, you know, if somebody else busted their phone and wanted to just sell it because they got another one on insurance, you could buy this phone for say $200 broken and put it out on the internet for $400 and make a big profit. That's what he specializes in. I used to do it on and off, but I mean, he buys, you know, $200 PlayStation 4s that the hard drive doesn't work and he buys them for $50. He's just like, oh, yours is broken. I'll give you $40. I'll give you $50. And he puts them right back on eBay for like $99. Doesn't fix them. Nothing. Just bang. Computer parts. Yeah. He does a lot of stuff. So
that's fantastic. And that's kind of a good area to be in because with clothing, it's so oversaturated in the market. I feel like electronics will never be oversaturated.
There's always enough buyers for electronics. There is no doubt about that. And the repair business is huge for electronics. So there's a lot of repair guys searching eBay for items that they can fix up and make money on or that they can use for parts. Because if somebody busts a screen, somebody else might need the motherboard and the speaker and the Wi-Fi and all that. So they'll buy his broken one. They'll ditch the screen and they'll take all the other parts out of it. So, can Pallets take you from zero to full-time income if you spend 10 grand? Absolutely. You can buy Pallets for $500,000, $1,500. You could buy 6-7 pallets, but don't forget, just like Megan has to uniquely, individually photograph and list 100 items, you're going to have to dig through a pallet and you're going to have to test items and photograph it. You're still going to have to do the work. The idea with pallets is you're not spending the time to source them and hopefully you're getting repeat products that you can put up in one listing. So we're going to do more on pallets next week because I have ordered some, like I said, and hopefully they go well. I mean, I spent $600 on one. Dave bought the other one. I'm going to open that one for him because he won't do the opening. He might be there. I don't know. One pallet is mine and one is his. I think he spent over $1,000 on his. I'm not sure, but so, and then with our shipping, it was another like $300 for both pallets. So I actually spent $750 with the shipping. So
how much of this stuff do you expect to be like damaged or unsellable?
I always budget 10%, maybe 15. And that's typically about where it falls. Like, I mean, if I ordered something with 100 items on the pallet, I think my manifest was over 100 items. 10 or 15 of them are going to be junk. And there's no telling if it's going to be the cheap items, you know, the little $20 items, or if it's going to be the $100 item. You have no way to know. They give you a good condition idea. Like, hey, this is supposed to be customer return, open box, whatever. But you never know if a customer pulled the adapter out of it. Maybe it's missing the power adapter. Maybe the thing is perfectly fine. Or maybe they dropped it. And then like it got dropped on the UPS truck or something and the customer got it and plugged it in and it didn't work. So they shoved it back in the box and sent it back. There's no way to know.
Or maybe they switched it with their broken item.
Right, yeah. Like, let's say, okay, so here's my old camera. This camera looks perfectly fine, except I'm certain that the cord is no good anymore. When you plug this in, it doesn't detect it. But if I play with the whole wobble thing, it detects it. Like it'll go back and forth. And so somebody could buy this camera on Amazon and then say, hey, it doesn't work. Put their bad one in there and send it back. And this would show up on a pallet of returned merchandise. And I'd have no way to know, you know, by looking at this, they'd say, oh, it's open box. And I'd say, oh, it looks good until I get it and plug it in. And so that's part of the pallet industry is that you have to test stuff if you're buying electronics.
You can't just get and then turn around and try to sell it without.
Right. Yeah. No. So there's still time involved. You are saving the sourcing, but now you have to do the quality control. So keep that in mind, wherever you buy pallets from. And the idea for me for pallets is to get into other merchandise, to split my clothing and other stuff. I really want to sell more electronics. It's really a good market and I love it. It's just stuff I'm interested in tech and I know how to test stuff. I know how to go through stuff really quickly. So I feel good about it. But shoe pallets are really good. You do a lot of shoes, so.
Yeah, I don't really do too many new shoes because I'm getting them all from Goodwill. I actually haven't listed any new shoes in probably a month, but I still have plenty that are selling.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of places. Well, our Goodwill outlet used to do Gaylords of used shoes. Like for $250, you could buy a whole Gaylord of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so no, Connie, I do not. Storage units are the same. Storage units are harder because you're buying sight unseen. Essentially, you're guessing. I don't like that kind of purchasing. I used to, but they're a little expensive now. Shoe pallets, you can buy used pallets. Amazon does used, like people that bought shoes and tried them on, opened them, and then sent them back. There's pallets of those.
Hold on. The Thrifty Nichols says, how long has Megan been selling on eBay? About 14 years altogether, but I didn't go full time until last year.
She's lying. She just started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
0 to 18 grand in 6 months.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Clickbait video coming soon. No. Yeah. She's been on there as long as I've been alive. So,
I'm not that old.
I tried. A Gaylord of shoes with no matches. Yeah. The Goodwill outlet Gaylords of shoes. We actually saw somebody buy some and they did really well. The shoes from the Amazon returns, the used ones, depending on the brands, like you can get Uggs and Nikes and stuff. They'll be like $6 to $10 for used pairs. $12. They get a little expensive, but they're also high-end brands. So good items to start with on eBay. Clothing is a great item. It's readily available depending on your area. It's cheap. It's easy to source, but right now it's got slow sell-through rates. Just keep that in mind.
Adam says, I started eBay when I was 8. No, I was 12 for the record.
Yeah. Megan is 26. Was it, wait, 26?
Yeah, I'm 26.
See that? 14. Yeah. So 12 years old. Yeah. That's crazy. eBay day one. What year was eBay day one? 97?
Yeah. I wasn't on it then, but.
So you've been on since 2004. That's great. I moved to Florida in 05. So I would have started, it was halfway through 05. So I would have started around Christmas, start of 06. So I've been on eBay total for 12 years, over 12 years. But in the first year or two, I probably sold like 2 or 3 items a month. It wasn't until like 07 that I started selling a couple items that I was getting like 20 or 30 a month of. I was literally selling maybe 1, 2, 3 items a day at that point. I didn't go full-time eBay because most of my selling then was local. I sold on Craigslist and stuff like that. My full eBay account, my other account that I still use to this day and sell a lot on, that was probably 08, maybe 09. So 9 years. And those first couple months I was selling, I don't know, $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 a month when I first started doing it full time that way. I still sold a ton on auctions, local auctions, Craigslist. I was selling like $1,500 a month on Craigslist and like $1,000 a month at the auction house and like $1,000 on eBay. And that's when Facebook first got started with their Oodle network or whatever, their little mini marketplace. I was selling I was literally selling everywhere.
Yeah, I was only selling like a couple items a month. I was like finding things around the house and I would like secretly sell them. And then my family would go like looking for things and they couldn't find them because I sold it.
When I back then you have to remember that eBay was a lot different. When you started selling and I did, I know I took payments in money order.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't have PayPal for a while. So I was doing money orders and checks.
Wow. Yeah, I got checks. I remember getting quite a few checks. I got a lot of money orders. So one of the things that I sold back then was Magic the Gathering cards, and they were super collectible back then, and it was expensive. And so I would go out on Craigslist and I would advertise if you had cards you wanted to sell your collections, I'd buy them. And then I'd put them up on eBay 1 or 2 at a time. And there was actually this website that dealt all in Magic and collectible cards. And if somebody found something on eBay they wanted, they would like buy the item through eBay. eBay would get the fee, and then they would send me payment through this website, because this website did like transactions. There was like a PayPal ahead of its time, but they weren't. And so that's how all my payments changed hands back then. It was crazy. And then I would mail all of the cards in little plastic card holders inside envelopes with no tracking, just stamps set on it. Literally, that was it.
I was sending, because I was sending some like Neopets trading cards, which are kind of like similar as like a trading card game, and I would just send them in an envelope with a stamp.
That's so funny.
And now, like, that's a big no-no, and you don't take money orders or checks. But like back then, like, and some listings didn't even have pictures because you had to pay to have a picture on your listing. It was totally different.
The whole picture gallery was like extra.
Yeah.
It was like 50 cents, and we were like, no way, we're not giving up 50 cents.
I'm not getting my 50 cents for that.
Yep. How many eBay accounts do you have, and why? I only have one. Well, I have 2 eBay accounts. I have a business and a personal. Hey, Serena, I see you there. The reason that I have 2 is because I used my personal account for many, many years. It was my only eBay account. I built it up. It has like 6,800 feedback. And then at the point that I opened the business account, I was just going to change my personal over to a business, but it had all of my actual information and all that stuff. And so I just went ahead and opened a second business account. I never intended. Having multiple eBay accounts is not really the best of ideas. I only have it because that's how it happened. If I could go back to having one, I would, but I just happen to have those 2. So
yeah, I just have one at this point.
Yep. So I don't recommend having 2 accounts if you can help it. So fourth quarter starts. Somebody asked officially October 1st, so you get October, November, December. You want to have your inventory in now. Like, you want to get a ton of inventory together as quickly as possible. Homeless Picker says that Craigslist Hunter did a video yesterday that Goodwill is not worth going to. Maybe in his area, because he's in Chicago and it's oversaturated. He's probably right. In Megan's area, it's still a good place to go. In my area, it's terrible.
Well, I just went to Goodwill this past Sunday, and they had a big back to school sale the 2 days prior. So I didn't think there was going to be much stuff there, but the racks were still like jam packed, and there was a line like to drop off stuff around the back that's like constantly full of cars.
So yeah, it seems like the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, is just thrifting mecca. I feel like, everyone knows the Oregon story. Seattle's no different. Tacoma, even Northern California is pretty good. So,
Adam, his name is Dylan.
Dylan, yes. Dylan is alive and well in there.
Here, I'll show you guys baby, and then I gotta set him down.
Yeah.
You can kind of see him. There's his little face.
What's his middle name?
Scott, which my husband picked out.
There you go. Dylan, the next generation of seller.
Yes, I'm gonna go put him down. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so fourth quarter. So Megan's doing the thrifting. I wanted to give you guys, kind of a peek at both sides of things. Megan's thrifting side, if you have the availability to do it, a lot of you asked, talking about Pete, talking about Goodwill being dead. If your Goodwill and your thrift stores are dead in your area, it might be time to change to pallets. And so that's why I want to do a video next week on manifested pallets, Amazon returns. That may be the way for you guys to go. So, a lot of electronics and home goods are just better for the Christmas season too. Keep that in mind. Everything sells better, but you have to do better sourcing, and you have to do better time management. 2 biggest things for fourth quarter. Adrienne says, do I think YouTube hurt the reselling thrifting game? I don't think it hurt it. I think it hurt clothing. I think clothing is what got hurt by it. So Utah is thrifting heaven. It seems like everything in the Northwest is what is causing, or where everyone is getting the best stuff. It used to be Texas. Texas is still good, but everything up in the Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Utah. Somebody else, I was talking to somebody yesterday about, being in Utah, and he's in the chat now. It's on backwards. And he told me about how good Utah is, and I couldn't believe it. Like how much stuff he gets. I went through his store. His average sell price is like $40 almost. And everything a lot of guys' clothing, a lot of outdoor clothing.
Okay.
I'll show you a store later. Man, he's got a set of lungs on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can hear him.
You get that from you or John?
Probably from me.
Uh-oh. You get mad? Does Mama get mad?
Yeah, I do now.
Uh-oh.
I used to be really chill and not have not get angry, but now everything makes me mad.
Was that since one baby or before both babies you were chill?
I think after one.
Oh, goodness. Have I ever been to St. Augustine? Yes. St. Augustine is one of my favorite vacation places in Florida for weekend trips. And we are going back to St. Augustine for Halloween for a haunted tour. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. They have Ripley's, believe it or not, museum haunted ghost ride, train ride, the jail, the museum, the fort, the lighthouse, all haunted stuff. We're going to do it for Halloween. It's going to be awesome. And Star and Keith are going to be with us. And I think Sid might be, and maybe Holly. So a couple people you guys recognize will be there. Yeah, you're not actually buying from Amazon. Amazon does have warehouse deals and some bulk stuff, but when you're buying liquidation lots, it's typically through a third-party company, directliquidators.com, liquidations. There's a couple of, I'll show you guys where we got ours from on next week or the week after, whenever these pallets, I don't know how long these pallets take to come in. It's been a while since we've ordered. So yeah, we're going to try that. So the Goodwills, Ivan, I'll answer again. The Goodwills are overpriced depending on what area you're in. My area sucks. Megan's area in the Northwest is really good. So it's all depending on your city. I need to use that awesome Delta. It's actually a Frontier free trip. I'm probably going to use the plane ticket to go to Dallas in October. I haven't decided yet. So, I'm trying to read a couple more questions in case there's any for Megan while she has the baby.
Someone said they're saving to move from San Diego to Washington.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
You're going to pretty much feel like you got a raise just moving out of San Diego, I think.
Yeah, San Diego is nuts. La Jolla and San Diego are bonkers. They're voted constantly like the most, not only the most expensive cities to buy like real estate or live in, but the most expensive city for overall like cost of living, like just food and just everything, like necessities are really expensive there. Do I think Worth Point is worthwhile for eBay sellers? And that question is from Mississippi Pickers. What do you mean by worthwhile you mean to get like inventory wise? I mean, they're antiques and collectibles mostly, right? So it's a market I'm not familiar with, honestly. Bridget, how is thrifting? I buy overpriced stuff at Goodwill's on dollar color day. Yeah, if stuff's overpriced, you can certainly use the sale days. Is your stuff that cheap every day, or is it just you've got a schedule, Megan?
The 99-cent day?
Yeah.
They only do that 2 days a week, Sunday and Monday. But everything is overpriced in general. Like if you look at the price tags, they've got like some basic brand jeans for like $30 that they think are worth that. So a lot of it doesn't sell until the 99-cent day.
So yeah, so they know that they're overpriced too because they can tell when everything's selling. Have I been to Treasure Island? Yeah, I've been there. It's been a while though. Any Florida hookups in the future? Meetups, I think you mean? Yeah, we're gonna do St. Augustine probably. Sunday, Monday. Yeah, see, it's all about, for those of you that keep asking about Goodwill being overpriced, it depends on your city, your area, and the sale days. You have to get a good schedule, and you have to be in the right areas. Otherwise, yeah, it probably is overpriced. I have to watch later. It's buffering. It might be the weather. Yeah, my weather sucks right now. It kind of chilled out, though. So what's everyone else been up to? Tell me in the chat or the comments afterwards where you're sourcing for fourth quarter, what you're getting, and make sure that you check in with me next week for the pallet unboxings and openings and all that good stuff. And then you guys know if you live in Washington or the Great Northwest, you can get good stuff cheap.
Yeah. Well, it's not everywhere here that does 99-cent days. The region in Seattle, their best sale is like $1.99 that they do once a week. So it really just depends like what county you're in.
Yeah, it's all even here. If you leave Tampa and you go to Orlando, it's a little better. If you go to Miami, it's more expensive. It just depends. But for the most part, all Florida Goodwills suck badly.
So no one moved to Goodwill or no one moved to Florida if you're a reseller.
Yeah, if you're a reseller, it's getting really hard here, and it's got nothing to do with the resellers. It's got to do with the management of Southwest or Southeast Florida Goodwill is, like, from what I'm reading and learning, a complete jackass. The Goodwill in St. Augustine has flat prices, $5.99 for jeans and $4.29 for shirts. That's too much money.
Yeah. See, I can't make much of a profit if I'm paying that much.
Yeah, that's where and that's cheap. Here they're like $7.99 and $5.99. So, which Goodwills in Florida have auctions or bulk pallets? Auctions, I don't know what you mean by auctions, but as far as buying the bulk pallets or the Gaylords, you can pretty much ask any Goodwill outlet. The one in Lakeland, the one in Orlando, the one in Tampa. Well, it's St. Pete. I haven't been to the one in Ocala in 2 years. So I don't know about them. And then the one in Sarasota does not, because they don't have clothing really. So if you just go in and ask the management if you can buy a Gaylord or pallet, they'll typically let you. A couple $100 for the most part.
I feel like that's a lot for a Goodwill pallet, because most of that stuff is going to be things that's already been picked over.
Yeah, it can. So they have picked over ones for $100, and we bought one of those once and got a Burberry jacket out of it that we sold for $300. Yeah, somebody, because remember, when people are digging, they're lazy. Ooh, excuse me. They don't actually dig to the end, and so you can get some good stuff off the bottom of the bins constantly. And so a lot of those were packed up into this. We got 3,000 pieces of clothes for $100.
Oh wow, that's a lot. So even if a lot of it needs to be thrown away, you could find a couple pieces that would pay for it. We
did. We threw away like 2,000 of the 3,000 pieces, but we kept 1,000 pieces. And even if you just made $3 profit per item, that's $3,000 on a $100 purchase. So it can be good. They have ones that are unpicked that just came in from the sorting warehouses. Those are like 400 or 500. I can't remember. So you're paying a little bit more. If you do the math, what is it, 30 cents on the ones? So 3,000 pieces times 0.3 cents. You're paying 3.3 cents a piece picked over. And if you buy them the same 3,000 pieces unpicked over times 20 cents a piece for unpicked.
Yeah, I would pay a couple teenagers to like go through all of it and then like sort and take pictures for that price.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes bulk. If you guys have never, I mean, I would have to scroll forever. You guys can go. I didn't even know Megan existed at this time, and this used to be my business model, and I kind of got away from it. And don't ask me why. I think because it was, at the time, it was a lot of work, and I was branching out into stuff, and I really just shouldn't have given up on it. It was a phenomenal business model, and you guys can ask around. This comes into bulk purchasing too. I'm going to pull this picture up to show you guys. I'm getting close to it. I just swiped down. But buying a lot of inventory at once, if you don't have good sales like Megan has, is the only way you're going to survive. I can't go into thrift stores anymore and buy one at a time. It's why I'm buying people that are going out of business or ordering pallets, or, that's why I don't have to go sourcing every single day anymore. Thank God. It's a lot of work.
Worth your time to go to a thrift store and find 5 or 6 items. I mean, unless they're really good, you're going to make a ton of money off of it. Yeah,
it just doesn't happen that way anymore. Oh my cha-chingness. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. I'm almost to the point of that picture of when I bought this. And the point was that like it was getting so hard here that I would go around and buy like 4 or 5 pieces in a store. I'd go to like, 5 stores and I'd only end up with 20 pieces. I'm like, man, I spent 3-4 hours to get 20, 30 pieces. Like, this is just not going to be maintainable for a long time because stuff got so expensive here. And so when that happens, you have to find other sources. Oh, I'm right at the point where this bulk purchase was. I'm just going to show you to give you guys an idea. And this is if you live near a Goodwill outlet, you got to go in and negotiate with the manager and ask them, but they should all They should all make this available, as far as she told me. I'm sure there's some that aren't going to do it, but for the most part, it should be available to you. Are you still working out of your house? Yes, I do not pay for the office. I have not paid for the office all of this year and most of last year. I don't remember the exact date we got all of our stuff out of Dave's office, but I paid $1,000 a month for that office for like 2.5 years. It was a lot of money. 2.5 years of the office plus the driving and the gas. I can't even tell you how many thousands of dollars I spent sitting in traffic to get back and forth to that office. The videos I used to do in that office, it was cool and it was good and it was nice, but it was an unnecessary expense.
You just need to buy a house with like a big 3-car garage that you can turn into your warehouse.
Yep. I used to have this dude that ran his business not that far from me that had a detached building off of his property, and he had air conditioning in it, and he had all the tables and computers set up, and it had a side door that he gave the 2 employees the keys to. And then the front door, it was just like a breezeway that connected to his house. And so he would, so this was our office, our spot. It was only like 750, 800 square feet total. That is what we used to work out of right there. I mean, that was literally my hole that I was in 12, 14 hours a day till the end of time. So, you know, Dave gave me a fair price on it and it was worth it. But it was a pain in the butt getting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth every single day after day after day after day. And
is traffic really bad there? Like
it's horrendous. Yeah. My neighborhood has 2 elementary schools in it because so many people live just in this neighborhood. And there's like 10,000 homes in my neighborhood. It takes like 20 minutes just to get out of the neighborhood and get out onto the main road. It's not reasonable to drive anywhere anymore in this area. I can't find, I had this picture. I posted it all over Instagram when I bought it because people were like, they heard that I was buying this bulk purchase and that it was worth it. I wanted to show you guys. Now I'm a hermit in my house. No, I go out plenty. I work from home. So yeah, I don't have to go out to source. I still do enjoy going to thrift stores. Of course, I love going to thrift stores, but it takes so much time every single day that it just got to be unbearable for me. I mean, it really was, every day was an hour of driving just to get, you know, to get to the first store. It would take me 30, 45 minutes. So,
oh wow. That's
yep.
a big piece.
It was a big royal pain in the, you know what, so I don't get demonetized. But yeah, so that was what happened. I wish I could find this bulk. I thought I had it right here. I know I did have it, but yeah, it was 3,000 pieces and I paid whatever, $100 or $150. Pick through, mind you, pick through from Goodwill Outlet. Just go in and negotiate. They'll help you out. If you ever get a hair that you want to do it, Megan, you could do it.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, you are.
A huge bin in my garage. It's almost up to the ceiling again of things that I need to list.
You got an employee. You were up to it.
I know, but I just now got under control the things that she brought me from last week. I'm enjoying a few days of no piles of unlisted inventory.
No piles of unlisted inventory. Is anybody else?
I saw a huge bin of unsorted items, but things that have already been photographed, I've gotten through all of that.
How many pieces are sitting?
That need to be listed?
Yeah.
I only have like 40 items left that are photographed and need to be listed, but I have a couple thousand that are still in Goodwill bags that need to be sorted and photographed. So
that's crazy. So here it is. I found it finally. So I borrowed my my friend's truck to bring it home. That was 3,000 pieces.
3,000's a lot.
Yeah, this took us just to get it because the pallet was too wide. This is how big the pallet was. When I say pallet, Gaylord, it was too wide to load into his truck. It wouldn't fit in between the things. So we actually lifted it up on the forklift, put it as close to the back of the truck as we could, and then we just shoved it all off the pallet into the truck. And then on the way home, I had a tarp because the tonneau cover wouldn't close because it was too high. And so on the way home, I tarped over this and strapped it down so that it wouldn't fly away, obviously, on the road. And then we backed this up, and that's where everything got unloaded from. And it took us a solid hour to unload it. This picture was posted in May of 2016. So 2 years ago is when I was buying those. I bought several of them, actually, and we did good. I thought in this picture, yeah, you can see it. If you look really closely, hold on, do you see that tan looking thing right there? Hold on, let me move it over. Let me talk. Okay, so there's a tan looking jacket right there. That was a Burberry like raincoat. And it was legit, it was real, and we sold it for $300 the second day. It was crazy. So
that pretty much paid for everything, right?
It paid for the whole thing. It paid for the gas in the truck. That was like $25. It paid for the $100 for the thing or whatever we paid, and the time. It paid for everything, that one thing. Bridget, that's another good question. Megan doesn't do yard sales, I don't think.
No, I'm a hermit. I'm the one who stays at home all the time. I only leave the house once a week to go sourcing.
Yeah, I have been trying to go to garage sales for 2 straight weeks. If you don't follow my videos closely enough, I posted that I tried to leave every morning, and my video starts with me outside filming the rain every morning. So Florida sucks, and that's just where it is. So I will eventually get to more yard sales. I will. I promise you guys. Otherwise, while it continues to rain in Florida, we're in hurricane season. Don't forget, technically speaking, we haven't had any storms, but it's coming. Most of our biggest hurricanes are in the last week of August, first week of September. Last week when we evacuated was September 6th. So almost there. We've made it unscathed another year. So far, so good. So
has it been that long already?
September 6th was when we left. I checked my debit receipts for the hotel last year. We checked into the hotel at 2 a.m. on September 7th. So
wow.
The storm hit on September 8th last year. So yeah, we're getting there. Most of the storms, if you look back at every single storm that actually amounts to anything, they start, none of them are in July. Most are in the last week of August, and the majority of them are in the first 2 weeks of September. So it's been raining a lot lately, which is actually good news because it means all the moisture is dumping out of the sky. It's not really giving it time to build up, so that's kind of good.
Should stock up on some bottled water so you can sell it for like $50 a package.
Yeah, the thing about that is Florida takes that very seriously.
Yeah,
they will put you in jail. So they take price gouging like ridiculously seriously. And there was a guy last year, I remember, outside of the Walmart on the corner, and he was selling Gatorades because there was no water left. And he was selling Gatorades for like $40 a pack. And the police came right up to him and took all of his Gatorades and said, either we're taking your Gatorades or you're going to jail. You pick.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And so of course he lost all the Gatorades. And so the gas, if your gas pumps, if they charge you a bunch for gas, they'll put the gas station out of business. They take it very, very seriously here. Like, it's nuts. It used to be that way. You'd pull out on the highway and it'd be like $7.50 for a gallon of gas. And there's nothing anyone could do about it, but not anymore. So that's actually good. I might have to go buy a generator and buy some supplies now and get it out of the way. I don't think we're good.
Just so you have it before the shelves are empty.
I know. And I slacked last year. We were so screwed last year. Plus having the dogs and all, like, we didn't plan ahead or nothing. There's no storms right now. There's one way out in like Greenland, and there's one down in South America. There's no storms anywhere in sight for the next 7 days. So we're going to make it probably till September before anything even pops up. But
don't jinx yourself. Now that you said that, you're going to have a storm.
I can't leave again. I got to be here and make money. It's fourth quarter. Anyways, Kate's going to be coming home. Speaking of the dogs, the wrecking crew, I'm going to let you get back to the babies. You guys can choose to do Megan's fourth quarter model of just thrifting her butt off, her booty off, and listing like crazy. Or you can choose to watch next week, and I'll help you learn how to buy some pallets for your fourth quarter sourcing, whichever route you decide to go. If you live in a good area, go Megan's route. If you live in a bad area, you're going to have to go a different route. So I will get some treats for the wrecking crew because Candace is very nice enough to send us super chats along with everyone else. I'll take care of that. I got to check on Megan's item that I ordered her. And if anybody else has questions, or if you have questions for Megan, hit her up on Facebook, Megan Mawhinney. That's Mawhinney. And you can send her a message. I'm sure she'll help you out if she has time. Otherwise, send it to me and I'll forward it along. Until next time, until next week, have a wonderful time, make some money, and my inbox is open to everyone. Thank Megan for her time. Make sure you leave her nice comments, please.
Bye, you guys. Thanks for having me, Casey.
You are welcome. Thank you for jumping on and messaging me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. I'll get her back on again, I promise, during fourth quarter. And have a wonderful night. We'll see you.
Bye.